We are streaming on Twitch. Twitch. Checking for audio. We have audio. Excellent. All right, we're not streaming on Dementia Radio until I get the all clear from somebody in the chat. And it doesn't appear that there's anybody in the chat at the moment. So recording in 3. Oops. Whoa. My whole window just moved. Recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Wow, this thing is all messed up. Hi, Luke Ski. I don't know what the hell's happening, but... Oh, I know. I was resting my finger very, very gently on my touchpad, and then when I clicked on something else, it was moving windows around because it was registering as a second click. Hi! Anyway, hi. Welcome to, episode 637 of the Funny Music Podcast for September 1st, 2022, except this isn't September 1st. This is August 29th, which is Monday, because this is the only time Luke and I would be free to do this before Worldcon happens, which is going to be where I'm going to be on Thursday. So, we are in the past future. I forget how time works. So yeah, I will have a pre-recorded interview with John Tabacco coming up later in the show, but I will be doing that tomorrow. So the people who are watching on Twitch now aren't going to hear it, and neither is Luke. So you'll have to tune back in and hear it later if you really care. All right, let's do this.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
And Wildcard tells me the stream is free, so I'm going to turn on the Dementia Radio cast. And we are now casting on Dementia Radio. All right. So
hooray! Hello, Dementia Radio.
Hello, Dementia Radio. The only thing you missed was the very intro of the show. You missed the title. The title of this week's episode is A Smiling Thump. Did I mention that already?
You did not.
I did not. Okay, well, I just did, and I'm going to put it in the chat. So, there we go. All right. So, Luke, what you been up to for the past 3 days?
Well, I managed to finish and submit a pitch to the Nickelodeon Shorts program, technically
Excellent.
called the Nickelodeon International Shorts program. I did have 2 pitches I wanted to do, but I can't remember if I brought this up last week on the air. But my big important Cintiq, the most literally the most important tool of being a professional storyboard artist, stopped working sometime during my trip to Wisconsin. So I had to ship that off to get repaired. It is at the company up in Washington getting repaired, and I potentially won't get it back until around the second week of September. So we'll just wait and see what happens. So I had to figure out how to finish at least one of these 2 pitches, without the use of my drawing tablet. And I tried to use my iPad and Photoshop on it, but it just became clear that with the amount of time I had left and dealing with my day job, I didn't have, the time to, jump through all of the hoops that, Apple software and hardware makes you jump through in order to do anything you actually want to do. So I ended up doing it old school style and actually drawing things on paper, inking them by hand, and then scanning them into my computer, and then putting them, those files into Photoshop on my computer, and then coloring them in using the paint bucket feature on Photoshop. So basically just the way I used to do things, about 10 years ago before I had a Cintiq. And I had some artwork left over from the previous time I had pitched this series idea to Cartoon Network back in 2018 before I left the studio. So I was basically combined the art from those two things and made a 3-page PDF pitch. The central character of this pitch is my character Kazi, who is a anthropomorphic fly who's about a foot tall. Those of you who have been, known me for years are undoubtedly familiar with him. So it's show aimed at the 6 to 11-year-old demographic of kids. Takes place in the middle school where Kazi lives, and came up with a story idea for a pitch, and also gave them enough background info on it that if they wanted to potentially make it into a series, that's a thing they could do. Cool. I had another idea, which is a newer idea, and if I had my Cintiq so that things could have gone much faster on the art side of things, I maybe could have whipped together a really basic pitch thing for them, for that set of characters for this new idea, but I didn't, and I just decided to take what time and spoons and what was left of me that wasn't burned away by frustration and get the Kazi pitch done. So
at least you got that one done. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'll just have to wait and see if they are interested in it or not. I kind of feel like they would have been more interested in the other idea, but whatever.
It figures.
Maybe in a year from now they'll do this whole thing again, or maybe I'll just put together a full proper pitch and talk to my agent to see if she can set me up pitch meetings with any place, like Kyle does. Anyway, so I got that done, and there's another important thing going on that I won't go into detail on right now, but after I get done recording this segment of the show here, I'm gonna head over to Kyle's place, and he's gonna let me use his Cintiq to get that important thing finished, because it's too important for me to try to do it by hand. It's like this is one of those I have to do it on the actual equipment and program that is that the thing is designed for.
Yeah.
So other than that, just trying to fight against anxiety and depression and ADHD, and keep moving forward in my life, and get stuff done. So yeah. Oh, another thing I should mention is I met up with Frank Tadero. I kept mispronouncing his name because I kept saying Tadaro, but it's Tadero. But the lead character on the show I love, Comey Can't Communicate, is named Tadano or Tadano. So I just kept screwing up his name, but it's Tadero, who is the voice of Mugman on the Cuphead show and of Starscream on a couple of the more recent Transformers things. He's a really cool guy. And while I was on my vacation, I filmed this whole bit of me going to Lake Geneva with some dice and a Mugman tumbler to give him the dice and the tumbler, blessed by the waters of Lake Geneva. So this past Thursday,
you mentioned that last week, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually got to meet up with him to give him the dice and the tumbler, and also as a surprise to him, I went out and got from Michael's craft store, like a little glass vial, like a little round bulby thing with the thing that comes out and you put a cork on top, like a clear glass thing, and the actual water from that thing in Lake Geneva, I put that inside it and put the cork on top of it. So I also gave him the blessed waters of Geneva for his future D&D adventures, and he was very, very happy to get it. And I filmed
Excellent.
it, and I've been meaning to put that up on social media, but I've been busy with all this other stuff, so I'll do that soon.
Cool.
So that was a lot of fun. What have you been up to, Devo?
All right, well, let me remove the pin on your video because it kept cutting back to me because my air conditioner's on, so we're hearing the furnace running over there. But anyway, what have I been up to? I've been working on a freelance project that just refuses to die. And it's this big project that they keep making lots of little changes on. And then they made a big change on, and I was up late last night working on that. And I have to finish it tonight because I'm not going to have any more time before I leave for Worldcon, because tomorrow night I have my acting class, which is why we're not doing this show tomorrow night. And then Wednesday after work, I'm driving to Rochester to pick up the shirts from Shoebox, and then I'm driving to Erie, Pennsylvania, spending the night there, and then Thursday I'm driving to Chicago for Worldcon. So this was the only time we had to do the show, and tonight is the only time I'm going to have to finish this freelance project. So I'm probably going to be up late again tonight. Hopefully not too late, because I do need to sleep once in a while. And at some point I need to finish prepping for Worldcon. I have to rehearse and stuff, and I had ideas of I can perform these 2 new songs I've never performed before. Oh, that requires making a video for them. I don't have time for that. So I mean, in theory I could, because my concert isn't until Saturday evening and I get into Chicago on Thursday afternoon. So I could work on videos Thursday and Friday and maybe part of Saturday and get them done, but I don't know that they'd be any good. So I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and just stick with the set list I've already come up with, because it's songs I know and love, and we'll just go with that. So yeah, I've just been kind of prepping for Worldcon a little bit here and there as I can, and then tomorrow and Wednesday are just going to be absolutely crazy for me. And yeah, that's... Oh, the other thing I've been doing is driving my kids all over the damn place, because this one needs to go to this job, and this one needs to go to that job, and this one needs to go to this sport team practice, and this one needs to go to that practice. Then I got to pick this one up from over here and take him over there, and then pick this one up from over there and take this one over there. I mean, it's insane. It's like I'm working for Uber, but I'm not getting paid for it. It's all over the damn place. So, all right, that's pretty much it for me. Let's get into the first song for the week, which is Don't Answer Me, I Don't Care by John Tabacco, which after I record the interview with him tomorrow, I will insert it into the video and then get the video posted to YouTube. So when the video goes up and when the podcast goes up, you'll hear the interview. So here is Don't Answer Me, I Don't Care by John Tabacco.
I just can't fight it anymore. I think it's so nice to see you in such tight shorts. Every time I feel a good wave, every time I feel a streak, a knuckle boy comes pounding on my pleasure parakeet. There ain't no one to stop him now, and there ain't no place to hide. If I do myself, and do I get a second try? Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. Answer me, don't answer me right now, I don't care. Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. I don't, 'cause I'm in the bathroom now. Even though I see solutions and I got some good friends, it's not enough to get me across this minefield up ahead. No one returns my phone calls, 'cause they're always out to lunch. When will I realize my life's not working and I've had enough? Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. Answer me, don't answer me right now, I don't care. Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. I don't, 'cause I feel like puking now. God is busy playing jokes on indie telescopes. You're throwing some flashy saucer ships for fun. Yeah, keeps the interest brewing, but we never get the dope. Is it real or just a neon hat they ripped off from the Pope? Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. Answer me, don't answer me, not now, I don't care. Don't answer me, don't answer me, don't answer me, I don't care. I don't, 'cause I'm in the bathroom now, I don't care. Don't answer me, don't cry for me, don't bleed for me, I don't care. I don't, 'cause I feel so sick right now, I don't care. Don't pray for me, don't bleed for me, don't write to me, I don't care. I don't care, 'cause I feel like shit, and I really don't know what to do, 'cause I have no more money to spend.
I'm here with John Tabacco, if that is your real name. Is that your real name?
That is my real name. Unfortunately, people don't forget it, but it sucked when I was in school. People made fun of it. know.
Did you have like a side hustle selling cigarettes in high school?
No,
or something?
I never smoked. I don't smoke or do any of that kind of stuff. It's not my interest.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about this song.
The song is called "Don't Answer Me, I Don't Care," and that basically sums it up. You know, when you're doing music and you're maybe an independent artist like I am for many years, and you send things out, you meet people who say, "I want to hear your music" and stuff, and you send it out and you write a nice letter and all this kind of stuff, and you expect them at least. I expect them at least to call me back and say, your music's really not for me. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Anything. No response so many times. And it's so depressing. After a while, I said, screw it. I don't care anymore. I just don't. I just go about my business. If I happen to send something out or whatever, fine. My expectations are very low, and that's what it was. I was complaining back then, and I don't complain as much anymore. I got kind of tired of doing that. It doesn't help. I mean, it's good for writing songs. Any kind of tension or negativity is a good way to start up a tune.
Yeah, I find as I'm getting older, I'm complaining more, and I'm putting it into song form. So it's good inspiration.
Yeah, okay, it's good inspiration. I mean, I still get inspired by the negative and the positive. But again, if you let that eat you up, you'll just stop doing it, and then that'll be it. And I guess if that's your destiny, mine was to continue writing songs and stuff. So I still do.
Nice.
It's an interesting too because it's sort of a pop song, but it's got like kind of a little punkish thing. I'm not really sure what you would call it. It's got I don't know. It's got a very driving force, but it sounds like there's something about it. It reminds me a little bit of some kind of weird little punkish kind of thing going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely hear a bit of a punk influence in this one. Yeah.
So
it sounds cool though.
Thanks.
So is this like a typical John Tabacco song, or do you work in a bunch of different styles?
I work in every style you can imagine. I do like a lot of humor. But again, I work. The music is an extension, as it is with most people, of what's going on in my life at the time. And I've been doing it for 40 years. I made a lot of CDs, and it's a continuity thing. It's very much like, I guess, sort of in the vein of Frank Zappa and the way he treated his work as one big piece. And
okay.
So I mean, this song reoccur later on. There may be little snippets of it somewhere else. I don't remember right now, but that's it basically.
Is Zappa a big influence for you?
Yeah, so you can see on my shirt, I've got a bunch of people. I don't know if you can see any of those people there. But,
yeah.
Frank Zappa, the Beatles, which everybody's influenced, but, Steely Dan and, Stevie Wonder, Thelonious Monk. It goes on, the list. But those are the main influences, Zappa, Steely Dan, the Beatles, and the Fireside Theater too,
Nice. Yeah. Because I know Frank struggled with comedy in music, and I believe one of his albums was even titled does comedy belong in music, or does humor belong in music?
I think it does, personally.
Yeah. I absolutely think it does. It's my bread and butter.
They take things so seriously sometimes. Like, what's wrong with having some fun?
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, come on, give me a break. You gotta have at least a fart noise and something, or do something.
Yes.
Spike Jones knew all about it,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like I said, I like humor. There's a lot of things I'd like to send you guys. I've done them with different people, so I've tried to keep the continuity of it just being me. But I have some other stuff I think you probably find pretty funny. Some good stuff that's humorous.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, send it our way. Love to hear
it. The problem is, I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know how long you've been writing music, but I've noticed there are a few things that I've written. I've never really been, how should I say, mean spirited. Usually it's in fun. But I noticed there's a couple of things that I might have said that nowadays people would have, like I use the word retarded. But I didn't use it in a way like I'm making fun of a person. It's a word, I'm retarded because I did this stupid thing, but people will take it as a negative now. So there's a couple of things I've done where I feel like I think they're funny, but if I said that, they might say it's politically incorrect. It's a different world now than the 20th century.
Yeah, there's definitely an influence in, the popular sentimentality of what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable is definitely influencing humor. I'm the type of person who believes that you can make a joke about anything, but you have to own it. If you make a racist, sexist, homophobic joke, you need to own that.
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah. And of course, I try to avoid that myself because I don't want to go there.
Right, exactly. I mean, something like The Producers or Blazing Saddles, it's some funny shit, man.
Blazing Saddles, every time somebody brings up Blazing Saddles, the first thing somebody says online is, oh, they could never make this movie today. And I'm like, why not?
They could, but
they absolutely could.
They wouldn't get backed by people, I guess, unless it was funded or something.
Yeah, I mean, that might be an issue, but I've I've always maintained that, the big issue people have with Blazing Saddles is that they throw the N-word around a lot. And I'm like, think about who says the N-word in Blazing Saddles. It's the idiot racists that the movie is making fun of.
Right, exactly.
There's no reason you can't do that today.
Right.
Right,
I know.
But anyway.
There you go,
Tangents on the FuMPCast. We do it all the time.
Yeah, but I think it's important what you're doing because, like I said, comedy, humor is something that people have to have. If you can't laugh in this world, you're letting those negative forces really take advantage of you. The negative forces, I think they have a really hard time with humor. They have a hard time with it. And that's why we have it. It's almost like a little device to keep us motivated, to keep us in a positive vein. You got to laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you don't laugh, you pull your hair out and scream into the night.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it. All right.
So, I just realized this is your second song on the FuMP, but we were not able to interview you the first time. So this is your first time on the show.
Yes, it is.
So welcome. And why don't you give us a little general background of like who you are, where you're from, and what you do and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm from Long Island right now, currently in Stony Brook, going to be making a move to another place tomorrow. And I've been recording music since I was about 18. I started with a little reel-to-reel thing called Nakai.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reel-to-reel thing where you can like record one sound and then you can record another sound on another track and keep bouncing them back and forth. So I didn't realize it, but I was learning how to engineer by myself. I didn't realize that's what I was actually doing. So I got pretty good at that. I did that for a couple of years, and I saved up some money. I bought an 8-track machine, which was popular back then. You get 8 tracks on a big reel-to-reel at 15 IPS. And I did some pretty good recordings. We were one of the first people around this area to use the computer, like a hybrid arts program, really early Atari, to use that with the reel-to-reel. So we had more tracks. In this area that I lived, nobody was really doing that. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And I did that for a while. And then I finally worked with my friend Chris Patty. He's a fantastic musician. He offered me a job at his studio, which was a 24-track studio. And then we did professional recordings for, Rhino Records and BMG and CBS, things like that.
Nice.
And then meanwhile, when it was downtime, like I lived in this studio my entire life, I would just record. And, the more you keep at it, someday you can look back and say, wow, I've done a lot of work. It means something to me, whether it means something to a lot of other people, who knows? That's not important. The important thing is that I did what I wanted to do, and I still continue to do it. And so I've been writing and recording for almost about a good 40 years. I've got about, in terms of albums, I probably got up 60 or 70 albums if you looked at them as records.
Wow.
Most of my albums, most of the CDs I have are at least 60 to 70 minutes. So, I mean, it would add up to quite a lot of albums per se, if it was like on a record, stuff like that. But it's not quantity. Hopefully it's quality. If you like something I do, good chance you're going to find a few other things that are there. And that's what I've been doing. I engineer, I produce people, and I've written things for like Nickelodeon. I've done some outside work, but for the most part, I've been able to do my own kind of life, live the life of an artist, which is totally crazy.
Nice.
I've just found a way to do it. I mean, obviously, I don't have a family per se, but I've found a situation where I can make some money, engineer, which is important if you're going to do music. Learn how to engineer, because that's another avenue that people will ask you to do, and then you can still keep doing music at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. So I got about 600 or 700 things out there on the internet right now, and you're more than welcome to see. Go to John Tabacco at bandcamp.com, and on Bandcamp you can find pretty much all I've done. It's all listed there and nicely packaged. But I do all the artwork and everything like that. So
very cool.
Yeah, so that's fun.
I saw on your bio it says you graduated from University of Stony Brook.
I did
University
graduate
of New York, Stony Brook.
Yeah, I graduated from Stony Brook. I studied music there, and I got to tell you, the only thing I really learned there was how to write, how to get my thoughts on paper, like to really write. That's what I learned. And the music aspect, really, they didn't really emphasize. They emphasized like the history of music, which is good. It's good to know your past. You learn, some medieval stuff all the way to Stravinsky, also the avant-garde, Xenakis, all that kind of stuff. And so I learned a lot about that. I learned a lot of different styles. But in regards of doing music and stuff, you just learn that on your own. I started a studio with my friend and learned from that way on, and just kind of did it my own way.
Nice. Yeah, Stony Brook has a special place in my heart because the first science fiction convention I ever went to was at Stony Brook.
What was it called? The
Icon.
Icon, sure.
Yeah, and it became my favorite convention of all time, and then it kind of died and
I was walking around with the guys when they were doing it. In fact, I saw the woman Balana who plays on Voyage. I forget her name.
Roxanne. Yeah.
She was walking around. I was like, what the heck is she doing here? It's pretty funny. So, where are you located?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay, Jersey.
Yeah, I grew up in Connecticut, and we went to Icon every year until I went away to college, and then I missed a bunch of years because I was away, and then when I moved back to New Jersey, I was like, I need to go start going to Icon again, and
there you go. Yeah,
so.
Jersey. I mean, I played with Ed Palermo and his big band. He comes from Jersey, and he does a lot of music of Frank Zappa and stuff. I sang with his band a couple of times.
Nice. I can imagine it'd be difficult covering Zappa. He does some intense work.
Yeah, but if you grew up listening to it, it's really not that. I found it pretty easy. I didn't go in there with any rehearsal or anything. I just knew it. It's in my DNA. I've listened to Frank for so long. It all makes sense to me.
Nice.
And also Jersey is Donald Fagen, another one of my heroes, and Sinatra. I mean, Jersey's great. It's a beautiful. It's got some beautiful stuff going on there.
I dig it.
Yeah. That's cool.
So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You don't have anything. I would like to just have people go to Bandcamp and just check out the music. You can download it. You can, listen to it a bunch of times. I think that's the biggest thing. John Tabacco, bandcamp.com is really where it's all at. I have a website too, johntabacco.net, and that has some stories in it, some things I've written, some articles and things like that. I've written some articles for classic rock music history. And those are like either kind of like, a lot of things they love to have lists. A lot of websites like to have lists, like a top 10 this. And I'm not a big fan of that sort of stuff. What does that even mean? Top 10, So what I've done is I've done some stuff on different people. And I've listed things that I like, why I think they're great. But, there's so much, like say for the Beatles, the top 10 Beatles. It's a little tough for me because there's so many songs I really enjoy. So here's some songs that are maybe a little bit more obscure that you don't know. So I talk about them. Try to educate people on that. Just get people interested. That's all I want to do. Just get interested. So go to Bandcamp and check out John Tabacco music. You might find something you like. So
all right.
That's my big deal there.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Great.
And I look forward to seeing what else you send us.
Yeah, I think I'll send you something that's probably a little politically incorrect, but I think you'll like it anyway.
All right.
Because who cares, right? We're gonna have some fun. It's just fun. Music. Come on.
Yep. All right. Take care.
Great. Thanks. Bye.
This is the FuMP.
I chug a quart of coffee, then I go and kick some ass. And every morning, when I wake up, I start my day by making myself a spark plug omelet. Spark plug omelet.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. CHEFUMP.com.
Go tampon, flex your plankton, lick Bo Burnham, Costco Phantom.
Pants with pants on, sexual Reagan, panko, man bun, let's go Brandon!
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, really the only news that's worthy of talking about right now is the new trailer for Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Have you seen the full trailer?
Yes, I have.
Thoughts?
It looks pretty darn awesome.
It does.
As I was saying this to, I don't know, somebody the other day, just that I'm hoping, I mean, obviously this is like super specific, when it comes to, it being a very, niche directed Weird Al thing, but it's also meant to be a parody of, all of those, like, Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man type of rock star bio films. And the only other film that's like that I can think of is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, which came out, that seems like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But in general, my point is this. I'm really hoping that this somehow, reignites and brings back, the spoof parody comedy type of film, in a way that's, actually good, as opposed to all those garbage parody films that were made for so many years.
Yeah, those were atrocious. And I do have, in the far reaches of my brain, I do have thoughts for making my own of those spoof parody films. So maybe I can get you involved in that if you're so interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer looks great. It's very funny, and they're obviously, twisting the history of his story, which is very well documented at this point, but they're twisting the history to, for comedic effect, like Al gets caught at a polka party, sneaking out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the trailer is up now on YouTube. Just search for it. It's not hard to find. Al is in it. He plays, I believe it looks like he plays a executive at a record label who's about to sign Weird Al, and and it looks very funny.
Yeah, it's and for those of you who are wondering, I believe the way it's set up is that if you go to like therokuchannel.com, you're going to be able to watch the movie for free, like from their website.
Yes.
So you don't have to buy a Roku device or whatever to be able to see the movie. So
that's smart on their part.
It also makes me wonder, because you remember how Mandatory Fun debuted at #1 on Billboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know, I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up, that Al pitched this movie around to various streaming studios or whatever, and everybody whatever, they passed on him, and then Roku said yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think this is going to turn into one of those things where it's so popular, it breaks the Roku website. It's going to do so incredibly well that all the other streaming services who passed on it are just going to be kicking themselves for it's y'all don't realize, the fan base you passed up on.
Right.
It's Al's fan base is the internet. All of it. 100% of the internet is Al's fan base.
And this isn't new for him. Like if you remember, when they were shopping around his first album, the response that he got from a lot of the record labels was, somebody's going to make $1 million on this, just not us. Next.
Yeah.
That was the story that Bermuda told at Alcon. So I mean, this is nothing new. And if you see flashy lights, it's because I have track lighting in here with 8 lights on them, and 5 of them are out because piece of shit track lighting. And one of them over here is loose, so it's usually out, except when somebody's walking around up there. Sometimes it connects. So if you see the light coming on and off, that's why.
Okay, so save this for your next time you're doing a ridiculous raps. Need a suggestion? Disco Basement.
Disco Basement. Okay. All right. Anything else to say about the Weird Al trailer or anything?
It's... I mean, it's interesting because Patton Oswalt, when during the first version of this bit that came out years ago, him dressed up as Dr. Demento, he looked thoroughly accurate and was doing the voice and the mannerisms of Barry. But for the purposes of this movie, it's interesting to see, Dr. Demento is going to be a character. He's obviously dressed up as Dr. D. He's got the beard and everything, but it's not the point of that character in the movie is to look and act like the actual Dr. Demento.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm also hoping, I have no idea what's going on, and I kind of don't want to bother Bermuda or anybody, asking, prying questions, plus the fact that they're still out on tour. But I hope that Roku is doing some kind of official premiere event somewhere for this, because if there's
yes, I remember hearing about one. I think in Toronto, or Canada somewhere. Because it's playing in the theater for one night for some reason.
Because it's in the trailer it said it was a selection for the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. My point is that I was really hoping that there would be a movie type premiere for this, so that Dr. Demento could walk down the red carpet, or the Hawaiian print carpet or whatever they're doing, for the premiere of this film. Because who knows, maybe a weird side effect of this film existing, might be a whole lot of people who didn't realize, Dr. Day, who is Dr. Demento, the fact that he's still alive, and the fact that he's still doing his show, might lead a lot more people to find the Dr. Demento show. So who knows?
Yeah, I was just checking, but I don't see it. But I love the synopsis on Rotten Tomatoes is Daniel Radcliffe is Weird Al Yankovic in the unexaggerated true story about the greatest musician of our time.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That puts a smiling thump in my heart to hear those words.
All right. The only other bit of news is Marc Gunn's Kickstarter, which is up to $7,797 with like 2 weeks to go, I think. I forgot to update the days, but go to Kickstarter, look it up. He's there. All right. Anything else before tour dates?
Nope.
All right. Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Thursdays online, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Also Thursdays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel. The 1st to the 5th in Atlanta, Georgia, the Brobdingnagy and Bards, Mikey Mason, Beth Patterson, and Tom Smith. On the 3rd in Michigan City, Indiana, Captain Ambivalent. On the 3rd in Chicago, Illinois, Devo Spice. That's WorldCon. On the 7th in Elgin, Illinois, Captain Ambivalent. Also on the 9th in Elgin, Illinois, Captain Ambivalent. On the 9th in Santa Rosa, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 10th in Elgin, Illinois, Captain Ambivalent. Oh, I forgot to check for birthdays. So let me pull up the birthday list. Birthdays. All right, so we're supposed to be doing the show on the 1st, which means the 3rd. Coming up on the 3rd of September, Xander Jeanneret of the Library Bards. Happy birthday, Xander.
Woohoo!
All right. Yes, I can leave the site and get back to my thing. All right. Second song of the week is a new one by me. Hey! How about that? There we go. So here is Forget Your Phone by Devo Spice. There's 147 tiles on the floor, and what's worse, I don't think I like that style anymore. And while I've heard it all before, a man's home is his castle, keeping up repairs as an owner is hassle. And no one even cares, cause it's way up in the back, at the top of the stairs where the walls are all cracked. Hasn't been a problem yet hanging my pants on the door. Only visitors we get are the ants on the floor. There's no chance I can afford a remodel anyway. Bring it up to code, not on my pay. Maybe someday, but for now I'll engage in spinning toilet paper like a cat in a rage. As I contemplate my life and why I'm stuck with the dregs, I realize that I am losing feeling in my legs. Staring at the ceiling as the truth is well known. Pooping is boring when you forget your phone. I am so bored. I wonder how far I can get my finger into my nose. Ooh, I could scratch my brain. Uh-oh. I think I just forgot long division. Oh well. Man, I don't know what he's going on about. 12 slides ago, I completely tuned out. I don't care where this goes or the price of our stocks. There's a hair in his nose. It wiggles when he talks. I can doodle on my pad, doesn't matter what I do. But if I fall asleep now, it looks bad on my review. Like I had to come to. I don't need to be here. Oh, the things I've gone through for the sake of a career. I make it appear like I'm listening fine. So I cross my legs for the 83rd time. I glance around the room and adjust my business suit. There's Sarah from accounting. She's kinda cute. Losing money, blah, blah, layoffs, blah, blah. All I think about is leaving in my evening at the spa. I wonder how much longer till I get to go home. Meetings are boring when you forget your phone. So boring! Oh my God, when will this torture end? Just get to the any questions slide already. No, don't actually ask questions, you idiot! That just means he's gonna keep talking. Underestimated how long it's gonna take, and I've sat here and waited all along without a break. So please, for my sake, can we speed it up a bit? If you need another hit, I can help you out with it. I pace back and forth and I can't help but laugh, cause any moment now has been a day and a half. So I play with anything that my hands can conjure up. Now I'm learning origami with a paper water cup. The radio is blown and the TV is dead, so So instead I'm alone with the thoughts in my head, but it's hard to stay focused, daydreaming in my mind with the moaning and the groaning and the screaming all the time. I just want to leave, get a big glass of wine. Yes, honey, push, just breathe, you're doing fine. She grabs me so hard I think she broke a damn bone. Childbirth is boring when you forget your phone. Come on! How much longer is this gonna go on? Do you know how hard it is for me to sit here and listen to this? You really should hear yourself. Why do I even need to be here? To tell you to push? That's just mansplaining childbirth.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Thank you. I love live reactions by the great Luke
Yes.
Ski on.
Yes. He sent me the song earlier, but I was busy doing other stuff and I forgot to listen to it. So this was my first listen. Excellent job on the reveal in verse 3. That was just
Thank you.
Chef's kiss perfect. That was great.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that one like really ambiguous. It's like, what the hell is he talking about? And then just, yes, honey, push. Yeah.
As we were going, my guess was the dentist's office, but I was wrong in a good way. I'm also kind of surprised that you didn't, somewhere in there throw in a reference to the song "I'm Bored."
I considered it. I was thinking of scratching it on the chorus or something like that. I wasn't sure how well it would fit together. I did consider it.
So was this from a Ridiculous Rap suggestion, or is this something you've been cooking up for a while?
No, this was actually a song I wrote for FuMP back 2-3 years ago. Whatever year I did FuMP, I wrote I didn't get all 14 songs done, but I got 6.5 or 7 songs done, and I don't think I've recorded any of them. So this was one of those, and it was one of those things where it was like last week or the week before, I was like, oh yeah, I need to get a song done if I'm going to be on this compilation album. I was like, well, I've got all these FuMP songs recorded. Which ones should I do? And it came down to either this one or there's a song called Unfollow, which I'm also looking forward to recording. But it's one of my very few political songs. It's about unfollowing people on Facebook because of all the stupid shit they post. But I decided this one might be easier to do, and given that time was a factor, I decided to go with this one. I actually kind of struggled a bit with the music initially because I couldn't come up with something I liked, and it wasn't until I unplugged my computer and I was like, screw it, and I just went over to my keyboard and just started playing on the keyboard, and I finally came up with that melody that I liked and was able to retrofit the beat into that and stuff. So, and this was my first time performing a song where I was bored and just being like, oh my God, trying to rap with that type of voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a first. I wasn't sure how well it was going to work, but I think it works.
Sometimes, when I'm, want to type up things on social media and try to convey a certain specific, feeling. It's it's kind of the letters of the alphabet seem to be not enough to really get a point across. Because you can say ah, or ow. It's there's no real specific way to say to make sure people know what you really mean by that.
Yes.
Because if you just do you h h h, people might just think you're going It's no, it's So.
Yeah, I don't know how you would write that, but that's exactly the feeling I was trying to convey. And for the spoken parts between the verses, the voice I had in my head was the guy from Psycho Stick during the beginning of the H flat sketch, where he goes, "Our tuning is so boring." So I wanted to do that voice, but I can't do that voice for any length of time without shredding my vocal cords. So I came up with this in between strained, oh my God, I'm so bored. So that's where that voice came from. And Shoebox helped me punch up the spoken bits a little bit. I sent the song to him because I had written the 3 in between parts, and I really liked the first one. And I said, but the other 2 can use a little bit of work. So he tossed me a couple of ideas. Mansplaining childbirth was a Shoebox-ism. So was very happy with that.
That's awesome. I also like that. No, don't actually ask questions.
that was also a shoebox. Yes. I forgot what I had in there initially. I was like something like, "Oh, just fire me already, so I can get out of here," or something to that effect. But I liked his better.
That's basically been my attitude at my day job recently. It's like, I think it's from season 1 of episode 2 of Rick and Morty when they're like gonna have a party or something like that, and like Rick had mentioned like it's like like earlier in the episode he had mentioned like wubba lubba dub dub was his catchphrase, and then like later on he goes like, just kidding, my new catchphrase is I don't give a fuck. Like that's been my attitude all week. It's like, oh, I just want to get a job and not have to be at this job anymore, and be at home working my job so that Qbert will be happy that I'm always there. So,
aw, yes.
So, yeah. But yeah, excellent work once again on this tune.
Yes, I don't think I have anything else to say about it. It's a song. It's up. You can listen to it. Technically, it goes up on the FuMP tomorrow, so the people in the chat or people listening live are got a sneak preview.
Hooray for you!
So yeah, all right, that's all I got.
And all y'all can go to the Dr. Demento official Facebook page and request it, because that's the way things are now. Yeah, because I don't know. It's like,
did he do a top 10 last? No, last week was the Frankenstein show, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't do a top. Did he do a top 10 this month?
I don't think he did. He said something about going on vacation, and then here, let me look up.
It just occurred to me, like, today's the 29th. I'm like, his next show will be the first weekend in September.
Yeah, because Ian had kind of questioned that in somewhere. Let's see. Where's the topics list? Is the topics list no longer there?
On Facebook? I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at the dmdb.org.
Oh.
Oh, here, upcoming topics. Well, that's kind of strange. It says August 27th, which is the one that just posted, is Birds, which is a flashback episode. September 3rd is a Labor Day, which is another flashback episode, because Dr. D did say he was going to go on vacation for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then September 10th, he has a top 10 episode.
Oh, that's weird.
So I guess the top 10 for August will happen. We'll be posting September 10th. So
okay.
All right, fine.
There's time to get your votes in for Forget Your Phone.
Yeah. Because, usually what happens is a song has to get played on his show before it's kind of eligible for the top 10. It's not unheard of that a song debuts on the top 10, but usually that's because of something like, Al showed up on, friggin', Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and suddenly everyone requested the same thing, or, whatever. Yeah. So, anyway.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Sorry,
right.
I'm just distracted because one of the things I was doing before we started the show was I was trying to look up to see if I could confirm online somewhere of who is the top selling comedy recording artist of all time for like comedy albums, because I always thought and assumed it was Al, but at some point I guess Jeff Foxworthy was claiming it was him, which I kind of think is a load of bull. But
yeah, if you include stand-up comedy, I'm sure there's probably people who have outsold Al, but I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, for comedy music, it has to be Al.
Yeah,
but as far as like
absolutely.
But as far as like like looking at it from the point of view of like the RAAA or the Grammys, of like they don't delineate between comedy and comedy music. There's just comedy. So, it's like the I don't know. It kind of feels like, to me, it's like Jeff Foxworthy I mean, not that he's like, turned into a, some kind of has-been or whatever, but, he had like 4 huge albums like in the 90s, and then like what has he done since then? Al's had like, a dozen albums and other things that are, compilations or whatever. It's like, it kind of seems like Al's got the numbers behind him. He's got, 5 platinum albums, 1 double platinum album, and like 4 others that are at least gold. So, anyway.
All right, let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
For who could ever learn to love a beast?
Father Beast wrote, "Wait, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin is some sort of pilgrimage place for D&D? How did this come to be? Did Gary Gygax grow up there or something? Never mind, Luke explained it in detail on his Tunes podcast." Thank you, Father Beast.
Thank you, Father Beast, for asking a question and then answering your own question.
Right. All right, and that is all the feedback we got, because we're doing the show early this week. So,
Teasing.
I thought of another.
Sorry.
He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I was going to say, I thought of another funny music news thing. Over on Paramount Plus, there is a concert movie of the South Park 25th anniversary concert, which was done at like the famous Red Rock concert venue in it's not Denver, but it's one of the big cities in Colorado, and it's amazing. I watched it last night. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long, and it's just them performing like suspiciously absent any reference to Chef or any of his music. But aside from that, they like do like performances of all these songs from South Park, and it's amazing. Ween and Primus are there. Geddy Lee and another guy from Rush show up, which it's Matt and Trey and a whole lot of people just for doing this amazing. It's the kind of thing where I watched it, I'm like, I wish I could have been in the audience for this show, and people in the audience are all dressed up in costumes. It's just amazing. So
nice.
Go check that out. Yeah, on Paramount Plus. It's amazing.
Cool. All right, teasing. I can't really tease anything. Tomorrow's song is not, Friday's song is not yet posted because it's Monday. Tuesday's song is by a new artist, and I don't know what topic should I do for the next playlist. Any ideas?
Alvarant
did send another suggestion, so we can always fall back to that one.
How about boredom?
Boredom, sure. Boredom. Do we have enough songs for boredom?
I don't know. I just thought of it because it would be an excuse to put your own song on it.
Yeah, but I can't until this song goes up on the.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well then,
we'll hold that thought. Alvarant had suggested Toxic Relationships, and he's got "You Don't Love Me Anymore," "Restraining Order" love song, Big Oil, "Spill of Love," "Cemetery Girls," "Toasted Chicken Sandwich," and a few others. So we can do that.
Okay.
Let's go with that then. And I'll update that when I get to Chicago. I don't need to do that now. All right. I don't know where John Tabacco's website is. Let me see if he's updated his artist profile on the FuMP. FuMP. John Tabacco is at johntabacco.net. All right. And Devo Spice is at devospice.com, and he's right here. Right here.
In the disco basement.
In the disco basement. All right, let's get out of here. I got freelance work to do.
Me too.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
And I'm Luke Ski. And look, there's Devo Spice.
Ah, me! Ski.
Thank you for...
Oops. God damn it. I pushed the wrong button. Now we got to listen to this thing again.
No. There's a platypus behind you.
No, there is. There's a platypus and there's a stand.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
Jesus Christ!